Excellent. We look to have gone live a little bit early, and that's just cool. Turn that one off now. I know that the sound's working. Oh, let's just tuck some of this stuff out of the way. It won't be needed. And let's see where we go. There we go. Good evening, afternoon, Crafty Jacks. Hello, Sarah. Thank you very much for joining me. Feel free to share if you feel so inclined. That would be lovely. Obviously, don't if you'd prefer not to. The choice is entirely yours. Let's have that one out. On the other hand, we might. Thank you, darling, that's much appreciated. We're just before 2 o'clock, and I said I'd go live at 2, so rather than upsetting people by going live, starting the project ahead of then, we'll just wait a little bit and be patient, and then we can see people coming in. Yes, I'm having a lovely relaxing time with everything we've got. We've got an awful lot of clutter on this desk. I do apologise, but I just tuck some of this stuff so it looks a bit less like a car crash on the side of there. There we are. I'll pop that there, pop that there, pop that there. There we are. And then you can have a see of all the goodies that we've got out and about. And if I move that over, it'll be a bit away from my ugly mugshot, which is also always a positive, I think. Good evening, Jane. Welcome to what's going on to my live. So I think it probably is just now 2 o'clock. Thanks, Sarah. Much appreciated. Oh dear. She said I've got a glue stick that's got some multi glue on it. Now it won't go into my hot glue gun. Hello, Jane. Merry Christmas to you, my darling. I hope you're well and all is good in your world. So the other day when I did my live, I said that I'd been a naughty girl and I'd got one set of papers that I hadn't really used, and they are a set of papers called In Frosty Colours by Alchemyofart, and they sort of double up also as wedding sets. So, and I know that might sound a little strange, but the iconography across the In Frosty Colours and the fussy cut packs allow it to do both, which is super cool, so I will use it. But for this make, I've chosen to focus on sort of wintery themes, snowmans and presents. So if I pull this off, I think if you look at the background paper here, you'll see what I mean by it would work really well, I think, for a wedding project just as easily as and the backgrounds base is definitely would work for non-Christmassy projects. So that is cool. That's cool. Happy Boxing Day, Sarah. Hello, Karen. Thank you for joining us. And so we'll see where we go with everything. Just squish a little bit of water on there. I have got another pot, so that's good. I think quite a lot of the shops are shut, aren't they, to allow their staff to have a... That's going to be too soft. Let's just pick a cream crackered brush. So this is just a PVA based glue, much the same way as I did just the water helps it spread, and it also helps it go into the glue go into the MDF, which is always a good thing, isn't it? There we are. So I hope everyone's had a lovely day yesterday, doing nice things for Christmas, hopefully making some lovely memories and not getting too fed up with the endless drizzle drivel even that appears to be on the television for most of yesterday. There we are. Just put a bit more goo down there, shuffle that into there, and that can go on there. And we'll relid the pot of paint, pot of glue. As I say, it's just a hobby glue, and I can pop that onto there. Make sure it's reasonably centralised. There we are. Let's shuffle that into that. Move that over and round a little bit. Have a mop. Off my desk. Pop that away. Actually, we're not going to pop it away. We'll. Should we change our minds? No, we're going to give it a little blow dry. I think it's going to work better for me by doing that. So there we go. I think Christmas Day always goes fast, isn't it? There's always lots to do. The kitchen occupies most of us for a good couple of hours. And then lots of phone calls and messages from friends. It's always good, isn't it? It's always lovely. Hello from Mexico, so it must be 8 o'clock in the morning, my darling, for you. Laura, maybe a bit earlier. 2 o'clock might be a good time for quite a lot of the parts of the world. So that's going to lift off there, because there isn't enough PVA underneath it. So let me just squiggle a bit more glue into there. Hello, Alison. I'll just give this a good dry. Heat will help to set the glue, and then I can give it a trim, add some more glue as I need to, and file and ink the edges. Yeah, I think that's true, Jenny, for lots of people. It's one of the reasons why I did a live yesterday morning, because I'm very conscious that not everyone celebrates it big style. Right, so that's sort of dry. Sort of? Yeah. So let's give it a little dry from the back, and then we can do some trimming. She says not being able to see where her knife is. There it's and the knife, that means it's the tip that's missing. Good. I was very much aware that it isn't for everyone. My parents died a long time ago, and I've got grown-up children, and although I do have grandchildren, they're adult grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren went to their grandparents, not their great-grandparents, and that's equally cool, because I think you should do what feels right for you as an individual. So let's just have a wee bit of a trim of this lot. We'll move this around as we can. It's not quite dry at that space, and I can feel that the paper is tearing a little bit at that point, so let's just give that a little bit longer to come off. And it's one of these things where it's easier if you work with the paper. There we are, rather than trying to force it, because if you do try and force it, all that will happen is that you'll tear into it. Hi Maxine, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. Well, I have to say, I usually go live on other pages rather than my own, But I think I might be transitioning in the new year to do more lives directly from my own page, often at strange times of the day, no doubt, for many. But much to my amazement, my last 2 lives, unannounced, have got a goodly number of views. So I am very, very happy with that decision to go live directly. That doesn't mean that I won't do lives in other places going forward, but it does mean I might think twice about doing them all through that. Yeah, definitely think that the magic of Christmas is part of the children. So I long since gave up making Christmas cards, because I've always forgot to. Well, I'm terrible at getting things posted, and I don't want to wish to sound ungrateful to anyone who sends me them, but generally they don't coordinate with my decorations, and I don't have very much shelf space, and so I struggle to know quite how to display them, particularly if someone's gone to a lot of trouble to make them. Hello Liz, welcome, welcome, welcome. There we are. Liz and I have already had natter online this morning, so let us just give this a little gentle file. I'm not worried about cutting the inside of this out, and whilst I've got a bauble type shape base, the reality of life is that this project would work very well on a plain circle, or or even on a square board, or even on a canvas, so it doesn't matter. Enjoy your buffet, Liz, that's the good thing. You were late planning yours this year, Sarah. Well, I think it's always difficult, isn't it? Yeah, it's difficult. I think as your children grow up and they move on and they have families, or they have to move away for work, it's not always so easy, is it? It's not always so easy. There we are. So you'll often see me edging in browns, but browns really I don't think work with these papers, so I've gone for hickory smoke, which is a grey tone, because there's lots of greys in these papers. The papers are beautiful, Crafty Jacks. They are Alchemyofart, and they're called in Frosty colours, and they will still be available because the add-on pack that goes with them has lots of florals and is suitable for weddings. So you will see me getting these papers out later on in the year. So I'm just going to edge this piece with the Distress Archival Weathered Wood. It could be an ordinary Distress ink, but I wanted a slightly darker colour, and I'm going to then soften it with the Distress Oxide over the top. So I'm going to layer the two together, which might be a novel concept, but I definitely wanted a darker outside, and then I can soften it. There we are. No point in having it sitting there if you don't get it out to use. Let's just add a little bit of extra colour into the edges of here. There we are. This will help soften it in. And it's a bluey grey rather than being a plain grey. So that's why I've chosen this to work with my papers. There we are. Cool. Let me just soften some of those edges off a bit more with that, and those can go over there. So I do have a plan, which is always a good place to be, isn't it? With what we're doing, let me just shuffle over the bigger pieces, because everything else is then going to be worked around these. So and yes, I could have spent ages fussy cutting out all of the innards of here, but sometimes life is too short. It just is sometimes too short. But we are going to be doing a little bit of adding. So this is the way my brain works. I will start always with working out the base layer of my composition, and then I will glue it in, some pieces directly into place flat on my board. Hi Margaret, welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's just add, I'm not necessarily going to pop it right up to the edges of the paper, because that will allow me to tuck things underneath if I want to add some more details. And I am very much aware that quite a lot of this will end up covered up, and that's equally fine. So I can use this grey to cover this. I'm going to soften the white on the inside of here just a little bit, so it's not a stark white on my page, and it will make it look a lot better. And I'm going to go for a shabby look today. So we're going to just add a little bit of distressing edge of scissors. Just be careful when you're doing this, obviously. But that will help lift it off there. And because I want this piece over that, I'm going to, and that piece is going to sit there. So there we are. I can work out approximately where I want this, and just put a little bit of glue down there. It doesn't matter that that's on the wonk, because it's not going to be visible by the time we've got it. At the moment I'm trying a card that Lily Pink made, which is a half fold A4 made into A5, then another half fold A4. Ooh! Look forward to seeing it, Sarah. Look forward to seeing it. I'm a very visual person, so I need to see things. Thank you very much, Sabine. Well, I have the stuff, and I will be sitting watching television, maybe not doing so very much. So what better use of my time but to actually just come on live and do a little bit of creating. I've deliberately steered away from the really mixed media pieces for the moment, because they take a bit longer, and I don't necessarily want to spend much more than an hour and a bit online. And if I'm going to do a mixed media piece from scratch, it'll be an awful lot more time than just that. So let's just give this a little bit of a ruffle. Thank you. I tried to be. I tried to be. I think it doesn't take very much in this world to try and be nice. I think some politicians would do well to recognise that, mind you. So I've got some hand-dyed bits of scraps of lace here that we're going to add in at this point, just because I have, and why not? There we are. I'll put that onto there. We're just going to add a little bit of texture and excuse me, we might have a bigger piece of that one. There we are. A lot of it will get covered up. I'm very conscious of that, but that's okay. Let's just pop that down a little bit. So it's just going to add, actually let's pop that over the next layer. You can see how my brain is working this morning. There we are. Once we've got these base pieces down, then I can, let's pop that over there, I can soften that all off, get rid of that white, it's just too bright, but that's fine. Good evening, Patricia. Oh, well, good morning, I think, for you, isn't it? I think it probably is morning. Okay. So let's just pop that there. And let's pop that up. She says on some wet pieces of grey board. Maybe we won't put it up on wet pieces of grey board because it all goes soggy. Oh, she says. There we are. That should hopefully lift that up enough, and then I can tuck some other bits underneath it as I want to. So that can go there, that can go there. And that piece can sit on there. And then we'll add some more bits. I think I will pop that on there, but I know I'm going to be able to tuck other things underneath it, so that's also fine. Cool. So in the papers there are lots of snowmen. Let me just make sure I've got them all. You know, I tend to work from similar to similar and big to small when I'm layering my pieces together. So let me just sort those all out. So there we are. So 2, 3, 4, 5. That will work to start with. So let us just add some bluey greys to here, and then we can start to add some dimension to these pieces, because Mr. Snowman really shouldn't be flat. So I'm just using my fingers to curl it around a little bit, just a little bit. We'll add, it's a good combo, isn't it? It's a good combo even. I don't want to cream cracker those. So let's just add some bits to the centre of here. Tuck that round a little bit. add a bit more glue. Hope that those bits don't fall off in the process. And I'm using a wet glue intentionally because I don't want to have my pieces so solidly set that I can't change my mind at this point. So there we are, we've got, so the joy of these papers is that they're double-sided, so I can have it that way or I can have it that way. Do I want them facing in? I think I might go facing in. I like facing in. In fact, we might do. No, I definitely prefer it that way. I tend to have my projects so bits are facing in and bits are facing out, but it doesn't always work for my visual eye, and that's equally fine. I've learned to trust it. There we are, so that can go there. And he can just pop his head out from underneath there. Let's just do that. There we are. Okay, so let's take this one. Woo. She says, oh, that's what she's done with it, you see. There we are. We've got, I think these are very lovely colour combos. Very lovely colour combinations. So let's just give him a little bit of a shape. I would, on the whole, be using glue for doing this, or a silicone glue. But he's out. So use what we have, because that makes more sense, doesn't it? Let's get that one to glue down. Just let's hold it in place while the glue grabs. It's always prudent to do that. And curve this round. Curve the edges round a little bit. And then we'll pop that onto there. Come so, and let him grab. So we're adding some depth and dimension as we go. There we are. So once you've started to ink an edge, either do it consistently through all of the layers, or don't do it. One or the other tends to work better, if that makes sense. Hello Elizabeth, welcome from Norway. Hope it's beautiful over there, not too cold, and that you've got some suitably festive weather. Now I happen to, because I'm wanting to pop this on there, and I know I've got a layer of chipboard underneath here already, I'm just going to add another piece there, because that will then help support this one. And I might pop another piece onto there, because I think I might want him a little bit more further forward than it currently is. That can go there. That can go there. He can go on there. You have to have 5, don't you? You have to have an odd number of snowmans, and I know the red one sticks out a little bit because he's red and the rest of the colours aren't, but actually some of my next pieces have got some red in them, so that's why I'm not worried about that red tucked in that corner, because as I say, I've got more pieces that I can add in to it to help that build it up. So I think it's probably going to need even more pieces. There we are. Stick that over there. Give it a little moment to grab. Merry Christmas, Lamia. Thank you for joining us from Canada. It's much appreciated. There we are. Okay. Are we vaguely straight? Possibly not, but that's okay. So I'm going to pop that into there because I feel like it, and because I've got a gap and an ugly edge of lace. So that's what we're doing. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. It's just, I very much like fussy cutting. It's just as well, really, doesn't it? And I also very much enjoy building layers. So when I'm making. So we've got a little postie box here, because why not? Okay. And I know we're gonna have this one a little bit hanging in the air at the moment, and that's also fine. So let's just add some pieces of chipboard or grey board to here for stability. It is absolutely worth adding your pieces of grey board, because it will provide stability long term to your make. So much as it may seem daft, and these are all elements that aren't going to be seen, it will make a big difference to your finished piece. There we are. So those are sitting there. So I have let me see what else we've got. There we are. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to pop that one there, that one there, and that one there. But I'm going to take out some of that red from there, and I'm going to pop it under there, if that makes sense, because that way my parcels will be maximally utilised. Yeah. And before I do that, I have some extra bits. And what did I do with my extra bits? There we are. We have some little bits of chipboard. So let us, and again, I'm going to do the same with these. I'm using up pieces of chipboard that I've got. So I'm going to tuck that underneath there. And I could have painted these, but actually I really want them to be left plain and simple. So there we are. I'm going to add that piece into there. Okay. I know I want to have, and I can pop this piece into there. So my left and my right hand pieces are poking their way out. Let us add this. I'm mindful I have got some other bits that I can pop in, so I don't have to use all of these. I want this up a layer because I think it's going to look better up a layer. So let's just pop this into here. I've got a big gap here. So I'm just going to pop some extra bits of grey board into there to fill the hole and help support everything. There we are. That can go into there, that can go into there. This piece is going to go there, and again I'm going to have this same void area. So let's just sort this out, provide some extra support into the piece by tucking in more of this. There we are. Give this a little friendly coat. And another piece of grey board to go on top of there before we tuck this just underneath. There we are. And I know that I want this piece here in front of that, so I've got a lot of building up that I need to do here, and that's equally fine. I have a feeling that I'm wobbly underneath there. She says I've got lots of wobbly bits, but they're not good when you're doing the make, so that will help to stabilise that a little bit. That can go on there. Let's add another piece on there. And then we're going to pop that one on reasonably flat, because we've already got quite a lot of depth and dimension. Not that that's ever scared me. There we are. So those can go across there, and that can come down just a wee bit. So I've got an ugly mess there, and that's equally fine, but that will work coming into there. We will sort that out. Piece can go in there, and we might then tuck that piece up in there. You can see that where I'm just playing with my composition as I do this. So we have lots of floral elements in this, in the papers. So let us just have a little bit of a play with them. We need to do a little bit of covering up of some of this. Sit there, sit there. So you can see where my glue has not grabbed, which is cool. And let's stick with gentle, 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 gentle. I'm not convinced I need all of that piece tucked underneath there, but some of it I definitely do want tucked underneath there, so I'm going to pop that there. That leaves me a messy piece, so that's okay. There we are. We'll add some of our greenery, some of our florals in. Again, they will just help add some interest and link the layers together, rather than it all sitting looking a bit one-dimensional. There we are. That piece can tuck underneath there. I think that will work quite nicely. Right, and as ever, I don't need the whole piece. So these are the florals that come in with the pack, that make the pack into a suitable for weddings as well as for Christmas. Where did I put that half? There we are, we've got the other half of that. and just add that into there. Do have some more bits to add in. Trying to watch what I eat. Never easy. Too much temptation at this time of the year, isn't there? Way too much temptation at this time of the year. So or do I want it that way? Yeah, I do want it. First instinct's always better. Always better. There we are. So these are just some chipboards. Get your die cutting machine out, cut whichever you've got, layer them up. That will equally work for you. There we are. Because in the pack of papers that I'm using, we've got some hanging baubles in wintry colours, so why not? So we're going to pop that up there, I think. Or do I want the smaller one? Or am I going to do that? Who knows? Let me just re-straighten that. I think we're going to do that and that. I do have my broccoli gun heated, so let's just add that one. Can go up onto there, cover the tops of those, and there is the other one. It just needs a little bit of ink. When I can see what I've done with my spoon, you see I'm hopeless, aren't I? Put it down in front of me, 2 minutes later you can't find it. You know, that's just what happens, isn't it, when you're creating? No different to anyone else. There we are. So that can go up there, and then we'll carry on. We can do some adding or not, as the case may be. Yeah, I think I'd like that in there. It's beginning to sit more comfortably now with my elements. No problem, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us. It's lovely. It's much appreciated. That can sit into there. So to my eye, when this is over here, it's too full. But if I pop it here, the two elements link together. Hope that makes sense to everyone. And that piece, I've got a bare area at the back here. So by lifting some of that lace and popping that in, I've now filled that area. So I have I think that's maybe a bit too big, and I don't particularly like that one, but I think that one might well sit in there, and I might could just leave it with two. We'll see how we feel. I think I'm going to pop those there. I don't necessarily want that straight onto that piece, so let me just grab a little bit . I think this will work. It's just some cheesecloth that's dyed. Just want to pull it apart a bit, shabby it up. I don't want it to look pristine. Now I can see that I've got a selvage there, so let me just chop the selvage off, because selvages never really shred very well. And then I can literally just pull, and I'll end up with some tatty edges that will look much nicer overall. And fabric has a warp and a left, and it's weft, and it's easier to pull in some directions than the others. So I'm going to pop maybe part of that even. I'm not too sure I need all of it. Don't mean the other half won't get used somewhere, but there we are. We'll shuffle that down, make it just a bit smaller, a bit more shabby. Tuck that there, tuck that there. these are some ephemera flowers that I have in my stash, but that will sit nicely into there. Doesn't, just because I've got doesn't mean that they all have to be used. It doesn't mean that you can't use other things either. Hello Olympia, welcome, welcome. So let's just see what we've got here. So I'm going to add, yeah, that's going to sit comfortably in there. And I can now start to fill in some of this gap underneath here. So that can go there. And yeah, she says it's sticking on something that she didn't intend it to stick on the first time round, but there you are. Oh dear, there we are. Let's get rid of that. Repop the flower back together again. It's always helpful. There we are. I might need to grab some extra pieces. Chop that down a wee bit. Pop another glue strip in there. Hello Olympia, welcome. I trust that, I think Greece is reasonably warm at the moment, warmer than maybe you'd expect it to be. Possibly not. So let us see what else we've got. We've got some little extra pieces. That can go in there. I can pop that into there. Pop that one and tuck that one underneath there without burning the fingers. It's always prudent not to burn one's fingers, isn't it, when we're doing such activities? I don't want the green on that, but I've got a little cluster now of stamens. They come like this, and if you've ever wondered what to do with them, the green is too crude for my liking. But I can now lift these and stick them under there. Get rid of that bit. Keep, as I say, I think the green is crude, but I can start tucking these in. Absolutely, the total recommendation in the UK is every adult should be having a vitamin D supplement. There's no question about it. We don't get enough sun exposure on our 2 weeks annual holiday to be safe and prevent us from getting. You're waiting for snow tomorrow. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, let's hope that it's not too much and it doesn't settle for too long. I mean, I love snow. I'm very much a snow bunny, but I also appreciate that it isn't for everyone. So I've got some little florals that are equally from my collection. There we are, of papers that are going to help lift some of these areas and make it look better from my point of view. There we are, she says. So we've got a nice piece of hand-dyed ribbon. Jenny, lots of foods have the vitamins in, but your body naturally needs the sun to convert everything to its active component, and so wholeheartedly the UK recommendation is that every adult should be taking a vitamin D supplement. One of the commonest of vitamin deficiencies in the UK now is is basically rickets, and for those of us that are adult, our holidays in the sun and our natural exposure isn't enough to activate the vitamin D's and make sure that we have enough in our system. So there we are, that can tuck over there. So I've now got a shabby ribbon, and I'm happy for that to hang off the end of there. And what other bits and things? I've got all sorts on my desk to messing around with this morning. All sorts. And so let's just have a little chop. I've got a gap here that I need to fill, so let me just shovel some of that into there and stick some of these pieces into here just to fill that gap up a little bit. Where have those gone? These white pieces can also sit underneath there, minus the bright green, which I really don't like. It doesn't work for me at all. So that can tuck into there. And these are just plasticky foliage pieces from a well-known craft company. I'm going to pop that right underneath there, and these extra layers of glue will help to hold everything together, which is always helpful, I find, when we're doing things. Don't want that up there, don't want that up there, don't want that there. Okay. Don't particularly want that in there, it's too big a piece. Let me just chop it down a little bit. Yow, she says, picking up a whole mountain of flipping. There we are, that can go into there. There we are. So let's, do I want to pop another flower over there? Part of me feels that the flower is too big, but I don't particularly like that style. So now we're now going to put it there, and this one's even bigger, so that one won't work either. We'll sort out, we'll have a think about it. Aha, we have another little flower. That's better. So that, oops, she says, dropping hot glue onto other things, can then tuck into underneath there, and that gap then gets filled. Hey! Now we need a bit of snow really, don't we? Do we need a bit of snow? Yeah, I think we probably do need a bit of snow. Let's just shovel some of this stuff out of the way. Let's get rid of some of these stringy bits, because that's always a good move, isn't it? I do have some more florals. Right, I know this seems an awful lot, but I've got a big gap that I think will benefit from being filled. There we are. That looked better, that looks better, that looks better. Let's just take you off over there. We like them. Yes, that will make me very happy. Because that's going to sit neatly into there. Hello, Alison. That can go there. Right, so now all of my pieces are suitably grounded. Let's lid that. Let's clear some of this mess down, move that over the way. I do have a word that clearly can't stay that colour, so let's just pop a little bit of glaze paste onto there. This is a creamy white glaze paste, and I'm going to use it more as a glue than actually as a paste, but it adds a little bit of a sheen. Let's clear that. Let us, that will work. We can pop that onto there. So this is just some eco glitter. And I can pop that into there. Because you have to have a wintry project, don't you? It's a bit of glitter on a wintry project, don't you? That can sit there, that can sit there. This also serves then to link my flat flowers together. There we are. Don't have a problem with there being a little bit of extra glitter on there. So let's pop that there. Now where's my white paint? Because that's my favourite activity. There we are. Tip that over there, tip that over there. Pop that out of harm's way. Move those out of harm's way. There's my white paint. Hi Alison, hi Anna, thank you. I didn't see you come in. So there we are. There we are. Just add a little bit of white around here. And I'll add a little bit. It'll stick a little bit of this, not all of it's going to sit then onto the wet paint that I've added, and just add a little bit of sparkle. There we are. We'll give that a little tap. Hope we don't lose too much in the process. She said. There we are, promptly losing her page name. A project title, but that's okay. That just needs to hot glue down there will help it stick. There we are. That will help it stick into place. There we are. Got rid of a lot of the sparkle and excess sparkle. Let's just bring some of this together onto here. There we are. So we have our winter wonderland snowman piece. Lots of layers, lots of detail, and I think that will quite happily be enough for today. Hello Sharon, welcome from South Africa. You should be, I think, possibly early evening now. Thank you very much, Crafty Jacks. So I know that I am a bit busy for the rest of this week, but I will see, and weather permitting, because it's too dark now, I will photograph some of the pieces I've done over the last few days, and will put them up online on my page for people to see the finished pieces. When I'm completely happy, I might fiddle around. So I've got hot glue gun threads at the moment. There we are. And in the meantime, please ladies, stay safe. I've got to go and sort curtain material out tomorrow, and new curtain poles, because the house is being decorated, and then we'll sort out whether I'm going to do a live at the weekend or not, depending on what else is going on in my rather mad world at the moment. So that's all for now. Take care, stay safe everyone, and I'll see you online at some stage in the future. Bye.